What do we have here today? This is one of my Mugos. I used to have about a dozen or two, and they're all gone now. This is probably one of the best ones that I have, but it's quite large. Well, this is some more of Heroes. Do as I say, don't do as I do. This has been neglected for about 2 seasons. That's why it got so big. What happened was I wanted to do a really nice video. So I was going to bring it inside, but it's too heavy. So I was going to wait till somebody was here to help me, and it never worked out. So I'm shooting it outside today. Hopefully the sun doesn't get too intense. So this has about 2 or 3 growth cycles in there that needs to be removed. So let me go ahead and get started. Compared to like a black pine, Mugo is so much easier to work because the needles are naturally short. The only bad part is you can't find material that is suitable for bonsai. Usually these are ground covers, so they just make it into a little ball, and then you, as a bonsai, you want it as a single leader. So that was the problem. These I grew from seed and guided so that I had single line. Well, there's not a whole lot of suppliers of bonsai that grow from scratch on their own. That's usually the problem. Wow, it really was neglected. See all this browning inside, that's just because too much shade. Too much shade because these were neglected. See, look how long it's become. Well, this one I cut it, but I'm trying to do this so that I could keep it lower and opened up. So, like I've been saying over and over, do as I say, not do as I do, because it gets more difficult. Yeah, I think this is not a good idea to let it go this long. Well, we've been doing a lot of the black pine series. Black pine is the least forgiving of the pines. Now, the Mugo, they backbud. Needles are naturally short, so it's a great material. Just can't get decent for bonsai material. Okay, now we're actually working on the back side, but working outside, I have to deal with the sun. Actually, when I thought about doing this today outside, it was foggy. It would have worked better. But then I had to go eat lunch, and then it cleared up. Now that I'm in the front, I could start pruning this. The other problem I have with shooting outside, I can't see the monitor. The sun is bright, and then it's hard to see. Oh, you could hear the hammering from across the street. I don't know what he's doing, but he sure has been working on it for a long time. So it's starting to open up. Look at all the dead things inside. So the best thing is to be able to just cut a little bit like this, not deep cut like that. Well, that's what happens when you go for a couple seasons, when you should have done these really light cuts. They moved away, but I used to have across the street a guy with a motorcycle, and it seemed like every time I got ready to shoot some videos, he revved that thing up. I said, gee. Well, the new owners, they have horses, so they're not noisy anymore. But hey, that's what happens when you live in the country. There's a lot of goodness, and there's a lot of stuff you have to kind of put up with. Actually, in the city, I think you got the noise, but you just don't notice it. Okay, so as I get this open, I got to get new growth inside here, and then it'll look better because it'd be tight. But when you neglect, it gets taller and taller, the inside get weak. Now on the black pine, when they get weak, then it could just die and you'll get nothing. But on the Mugo and most of the other pines that we work with, they have the ability to back bud or form buds where the blacks won't. So yeah, if I could find a right supplier that will get me Mugo with a single line, oh yeah. But they don't grow that way because this is considered like a ground cover, and it's just mounding, and they go through a lot of trouble to make it look good that way. But that's contrary to what we want as a bonsai. So you could start to see this coming back. Maybe by this coming spring, this will have recovered enough. Then I could start these smaller cuts and then really start to tighten this up. Yeah, all these are still too tall, but I had no choice because I cut the bigger one, right? So if I cut too many, then I have nothing left. So I'm gonna have to kind of stop at this point. So let's take a look what we got. It's kind of hard to see the main trunk, but trust me, it's really great inside. And hopefully we'll shoot this again maybe in the spring when it comes back, and then we could start to really tighten this up again. So I'm going to be putting a little more emphasis on doing this right at the right time as we get going here. So anyway, this has been a Mugo Pine, 30 plus years from seed. So Hero saying goodbye. I'll see you again real soon in another chapter. Look at that roof flare.